A lot of games are in the green this month, which is honestly very good to see. Given over the course of the last 2 months, we've been seeing a lot of games in the red. Some of these games were earning half of what they were earning just 3 months ago. This is also the 3rd month in a row where Honkai Star Rail wasn't the #1 gacha game globally. Is the appeal finally on the decline? Have other gacha games just appealed to players a little more recently? December definitely shakes up the genre a bit, with new entries, old entries, and games you wouldn't expect to be earning as much as they are. And I've covered every single one of these games in detail, and I urge you to go ahead and check those out. Nothing is more important than knowing how our favorite gacha games are doing. Hey, my name is Stix, and welcome back to your monthly gacha recap, how your favorite gacha games are doing on a month-by-month basis. These stats are purely mobile and do not include PC stats. These also disregard Chinese revenue, just for reference, since Chinese revenue is never really disclosed. If you're interested in gacha releasing this month, new gacha to try out, I have a dedicated video exclusively for that. You can find linked below or at the end of this video. Now let's jump in and see how things turned out. Let's start this off with the #1 gacha right now, Genshin Impact. Yes, Genshin Impact has, after 5 months, reclaimed its rightful spot as the #1 most popular gacha game in December 2023, earning $54 million globally and bringing in 1.7 million new downloads. This is up from last month's $36 million and 2.6 million new downloads. Number 2 sees NIKKE absolutely dominate Honkai Star Rail with $30 million earned and 400,000 new downloads. This is up quite significantly from last month's $14 million and 200,000 new downloads. You can always count on NIKKE to bring in the green. And that is it for gacha games that earned above $30 million, which is admittedly very low. Typically, we see at the very least 3 and sometimes 4 gacha games fall under this category. Honkai Star Rail obviously takes the number 3 spot. I mean, how could it not, right? Bringing in $20 million and 1.2 million new downloads. This is down quite a bit from last month's $45 million and 1.5 million new downloads. This is not evidence of the game's decline. This is evidence that not even Honkai Star Rail can be a #1 earner 12 months of the year. And it does seem as though Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail seem to alternate which one is in the #1 spot, which one is earning upwards of $50 million, and which one drops down to 20 or 30. This also marks every gacha game that has accumulated over $20 million in the last month, which by no means means that other gacha games are doing poorly. On the contrary, many gacha games are still managing to accumulate millions of dollars and are critical successes. Next, we have Puzzle & Dragons coming in at number 4 this month. Yes, Puzzle & Dragons, a gacha game I'm certain almost none of you know about. And that's because 99% of its revenue comes from Japan, bringing in $18 million and 50,000 new downloads. That's quite the hefty sum comparatively to the players playing it. Musume manages to retain its top 5 spot directly at number 5 with $15 million earned and 30,000 new downloads. This was down from last month's $36 million and 80,000 new downloads. Note, this, like always, remains a Japanese exclusive. Raid Shadow Legends manages to come in at number 6, just slightly under Musume at $15 million earned and 500,000 new downloads. The reason Musume is slightly above Raid Shadow Legends is because it made a little over $15 million total, but the exact number was not disclosed. This is comparable, however, to last month's $15 million and 600,000 new downloads. Number 7 is Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle, with $13 million earned and 570,000 new downloads. These are still phenomenal numbers, even if they're down from last month's $40 million and over 1 million new downloads. I also want to note here that Dokkan Battle was the #1 gacha game last month, eclipsing Genshin Impact, NIKKE, Honkai Star Rail, Blue Archive, Fate Grand Order for the very first time ever. And admittedly, perhaps the very last time as well. I guess we'll see. Before we discuss the remainder of how our gacha ended up, let me to thank our incredible patrons over on Patreon. Your guys' support is why I can continue to make videos like this every single month. I deeply appreciate you all being there for me. Fate Grand Order dropped out of the top 5 for the maybe second time, I think, all year. taking the number 8 spot with $13 million earned and 80,000 new downloads. This is down quite substantially from last month's $30 million and 140,000 new downloads. Arknights comes in at number 9, earning a whopping $12 million and 120,000 new downloads. Rarely does Arknights make this much money, but it is definitely warranted. This is up quite a bit from last month's $8.5 million and 100,000 new downloads. This is every gacha game that managed to earn above $10 million this month. Yes, there were 6 games that made between $10 million and $20 million. This is up from last month's 2. The following, however, all managed above $1 million, which is a sign that they're still profitable, still successful, and still popular, to varying degrees. Dragon Ball Legends comes in at number 10, with $9 million earned and 1 million new downloads. This is up a little from last month's $7 million and 800,000 new downloads. 2 Dragon Ball Z games in the top 10. Man, Akira Toriyama must be so proud. Imagine boasting about this to all of his friends. Blue Archive comes in at number 11 with $9 million and 200,000 new downloads. This is up from last month's $8.8 million and 170,000 new downloads. Blue Archive has continued to grow all year and is showing no signs of slowing down. Project SaGa takes the number 12 spot with $8 million earned and 300,000 new downloads. This is down from last month's $11 million and 360,000 new downloads. Number 13 belongs to Summoner's War, which managed $8 million earned and 70,000 new downloads. This is on par with last month's $8 million earned and 130,000 new downloads. I'm always surprised by how Summoner's War is always in the top 20, but Summoner's War Chronicle is already pretty much dead. Diablo Immortal comes in at number 14 with $7 million earned and 200,000 new downloads. The game seems to have stabilized as its numbers were comparable to last month's $7 million and 200,000 new downloads. Memento Mori retains its top 20 domination at number 15 with $7 million earned and 80,000 new downloads. This is up from last month's $5 million and 70,000 new downloads. There are never really many new players downloading this game each month, but there is always anywhere from $6 to $10 million earned somehow. People just really loved this game for whatever reason. Heaven Burns Red comes in next at number 16 with $5 million earned and 30,000 new downloads. This is down slightly from last month's $6 million and 30,000 new downloads, but this remains a Japanese exclusive, so those are still pretty damn good numbers. At number 17, we have Romancing Saga Re-Universe, a title that not many of you have very likely played or probably even heard about, yet managed to bring in $4.8 million and 20,000 new downloads. This is down from last month's $6.4 million and 30,000 new downloads, but pretty much 95% of its earnings still continue to be from Japan, like numerous other games in this list. One Piece Bounty Rush comes in at number 18, earning $4.6 million and 300,000 new downloads. This is down significantly from last month's $20 million and 2 million new downloads, but was also very much expected. Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis manages to snag the number 19 spot with $4 million and 400,000 new downloads. This, much like One Piece Bounty Rush, is down substantially from last month's $12 million and 3.3 million new downloads, and much like Bounty Rush, this was also expected. I'm curious how its Steam release will impact these numbers. And finally, at number 20, Fire Emblem Heroes, bringing in $4 million and 15,000 new downloads. Yes, 15,000 for a $4 million earning month, which is absolutely baffling and very crazy to think about. And roughly on par, though, with last month's $4 million and 15,000 new downloads. And you know what? Hey, at least it's stable. And that makes up the top 20 gacha games in terms of downloads and earnings for the last month. I'm sure some of you are as surprised as I am with a few of the games listed here today. DBZ Dokkan Battle dropping from number 1 to number 7. That is a substantial drop and also a little bit unexpected. NIKKE earning more than a Honkai Star Rail. That is something I'm sure most of you never saw coming, and a lot of you would continue to never even admit. There were only 2 games that made over $30 million over the last month, which is absolutely crazy. 3 that made over 20 million and 7 that made over 10 million. Tower of Fantasy is currently only at $800,000 for the last month. Egon Erethel made $15,000 and is still somehow evaded an end of service announcement. Neurocloud, Girls Frontline, Tacked Up, Symphony, Alchemy Stars, Artery Gear all continue to make under 100K and somehow continue to operate. We saw Puzzle and Dragons enter the top 10 for the first time. It's always refreshing seeing new games released to such popularity, or older games earn more than currently existing popular games, challenging the titans of the genre. It has been a fascinating month, honestly, and I can't wait for next month to see how the games continue to shift. Now, if none of these games look like games you'd be interested in, then I got you covered with 2 videos on screen right now that you should definitely check out.